Welcome to Real Talk with Lillian M. Yes, I've decided to name my platform Real Talk because it's all about Real Talk. Today, I am going to talk about Christianity. How Christianity is keeping Africans poor. Yes, Christianity is keeping Africans poor. Is Christianity bad? Hell no. I'm literally a Christian, as you can see. I'm wearing this thing here. It says, I love Jesus, which is very correct and which is very true. I love Jesus. But I have discovered that as someone who likes to investigate things, who is very much curious about things, I just discovered that Christianity is one of the reasons why Africans are poor. Not that Christianity is. I'm not here to say this. I want to debunk something quickly. I'm not saying this as a way of trying to praise other religions because I've seen other people in other religions who are just as poor. I'm talking about Christianity because I am Christian and I'm surrounded by Christians and I'm surrounded by people who pray. So today I'm going to talk about how Christianity is keeping Africans poor. This is not to praise other religions. I don't believe in other religions. I believe in Christianity because I just love the teachings of the Bible. But I've discovered that Christianity was used during colonization to brainwash Africans. And to make things worse, Christianity is still being used to brainwash Africans. Most Africans, they believe in religious than they believe in themselves. I don't know, some of you might not want to hear this, but you can never make it in this life if you believe in religious more than you believe in yourself. Christianity is keeping Africans poor. There are some Bible teachings in the Bible that are being misused each and every day. Do you know that in Africa, at this point I just want to refer to Africa because I'm African, so I want to talk about Africa, but I feel like it's a black thing, all black people thing, not really all black, but mostly a black thing, not really all black thing, but yeah. Sometimes when I mention black, Americans, they get mad. I don't know why, but okay. Is Christianity bad? Hell no. The teachings of Christianity are awesome. They are amazing. They teach us not to kill, not to steal, not to do bad things to others. Just live a good life, a better life as a human being. I really love the teachings of Christianity, and I just love it. But I've discovered that Christianity was used during colonization to brainwash Africans, and it's still being used now by fellow Africans to brainwash Africans. Do you know that in Africa, people would rather gather to pray for a job than to gather and share ideas of how to become successful, how to start a project, how to do something? No. There are some Bible verses that are being used, like some Bible verses that says, do not worry about what you shall eat, do not worry about anything God will provide. Those verses are making Africans poor and lazy thinkers. To be honest, if Bible is not used correctly, it can make you a lazy thinker because you become so relaxed. I get a little bit mad when I ask certain people, like, what do you think about your life? What do you want to do? Like, what's your goals? Like, what do you want to do in life? People be like, no, go to make a way, go to make a plan. What plan? What plan? Honestly, you think God will start making plan on you? He didn't make plan on your great grandmother. He didn't make a plan on your great grandmother. He didn't make a plan on your mother. He will start with you. What's so special about you? I think lazy thinkers and lazy people, they use the Bible so much. Okay, I think lazy people, let me say this. I think lazy people and lazy thinkers, they misuse the Bible way too much. They think that God will provide everything. Please give God a break. Give God a break. He gave you hands. He gave you hands so that you can work. These hands, you can work. He gave you brain to think. Think to do something. He gave you are not disabled. You have legs. Yet you sit around and say, God will make a plan for me. I'm just going to pray. God will give me this. I'm just going to sit around. God is going to bring me a house. He's going to give me this and help. What? Only disabled. I strongly believe that only disabled should be praying to God for miracles. Not you. You have no right to sit around and say, It's so sad. The reason why Christianity... And you're not ready to hear this, but Christianity, if you're not following it properly with your own brain, it will make you a lazy thinker. A lazy thinker who relies on God. You know, one thing about God, remember, I'm a Christian, so don't even come to me and say, oh, you are attacking Christian. I am a full-time Christian. I'm a full-time Christian, but I am not that type of Christian who sits around and say, God will make a way. What way? I'm not that kind of Christian. I think, and then I say, God, help me. In this, what I'm doing, God help me. Where I want to go, God help me. This business I want to start, God help me. If it fails, it fails, but I did start. I have started the business that failed, so what? Does that mean God is not there? It's there. But do something. Do something. Somebody said Africans would rather destroy an industry and turn that industry into a church and start praying for jobs in that church. And I believe that person. I somehow kind of believe the person who say that. Africans, you need a real awakening. You need to snap out. You need to I don't know how to say this. This thing of waiting like for miracles. There are no miracles here. A singer once said, I never waited for a miracle. There are no miracles out here. I'm not afraid of the impossible because they're not impossible. This thing of you believing in God more than you believe in yourself, it doesn't work. In this reality, it doesn't work. You have to believe in yourself first. And then God will give you power, will give you strength when you feel weak. But when you sit around and say, God will make a way. That is the most misused word in Africa. The most misused word in Africa by Africans is God will make a way. I'm not worried about tomorrow because God will make a way. When Chinese are busy building big technologies, Africans will say, God will make a way. Yeah. Chinese are out there creating. Have you been to China? China is like heaven on earth. Chinese are busy building technologies. And the Europeans are busy building their technologies. Africans are busy praying for technology. Sometimes I feel like somebody wished us or something. Things don't come from prayer. Stop lying to yourself. Things, they come from hard working and thinking. If you think I'm lying, why have you not received the things you've been praying for? Why did your great die of poverty and you have inherited their poverty? What have you inherited? Poverty. I know you don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. Is prayer bad? No, it's good. It's good to ask God for things like, God, help us with this. God, help us with this. God, show me the way. Pray. It's okay, no problem. But to rely on prayer full time, that's total madness. You need to think because God gave you brain. I have a problem with people who rely on God 24/7 as if you're disabled. God gave you brain because the thing is, you are burdening God out here. Because if I was God, I was definitely going to say, these people, I gave them hands, I gave them brain. Why are they still asking for things from me? Why can't they use the things that I gave them? Most of you have got big farms. You don't want to farm there and start projects that can generate income for you. Start producing so much tomatoes, so much vegetables, so much people are eating every day and go sell. No, you want to sit and pray, go to make a plan, give me a break. Christianity is just one of the reasons why Africans are poor, to be honest, but there are many reasons, including the leadership. Yeah, most Africans do not have the good leadership. Yeah, you will discover that in Africa, politicians are the ones that live in large. Their kids, they are traveling in private jets. They're driving expensive cars, but the people are poor. That is another topic for another day. That is one of the main reasons Africans are poor. But today I want to focus on Christianity. If you misuse, because most of you need to think. One thing that I've noticed about Africans is that lack of critical thinking is what most Africans suffer from. Lack of critical thinking, mostly empowered by Christianity and Bible teachings that were incorrectly preached to, especially with colonization. When colonization, I remember, colonization the Bible was introduced to Africans by the colonizers, or more by the colonizers and all those things. And some of the teachings that are mostly being taught to Africans, they make Africans lazy thinkers, man. They'll be like, we do not have a home on earth. We should only wait for a home in heaven. You have a home on earth. Where are you sitting right now? Where are you staying? Where are you living? I think Africans really need to be free from the colonial mentality and everything, especially Christianity is very good. I don't want to lie to you. It makes you a good person. If you follow Christianity, if you follow the teachings of Christianity, like the way of life, you will definitely be a good person from my own experience. You'll be guided by the power of God and God. But the misuse of Christianity is what I'm against of. Like pastors nowadays, Pastors nowadays, they are taking Christianity as a business. A pastor will tell you, bring money to church so that we can solve church problems. But when it's time for your problems, they'll tell you to go and pray. It is their church problems. It is their problems that get solved by money. But when it comes to those problems, you must pray. No, man. I thought of that and I was like, you know what? Something's wrong here. These pastors, they be telling us, oh, pray. Pray, it's going to work. It's going to, the poverty in your life, pray for it. The poverty in your life, pray for it. The things that are not going well in your life, pray for them. But when it comes to church problems, we are told to bring money. Bring money to church. We need to buy this. Bring money. Because they know that prayer does not solve all those things. Money does. Where does money come from? Working. If I to become a president in any African country, I will ban the teachings of money in churches. Nobody will be allowed to talk about money. People should go to church to talk about going to heaven, living nicely with your neighbor, do not do bad things, all those nice teachings from the Bible. But talking about money and all those things will be prohibited. Because those kind of things, in churches in Africa, churches in Africa be like, churches in Africa, they be like, I'm not exaggerating. Churches in Africa be like, lift your hands. Say, I receive a house. God, I receive a house from you. If you're not African, you might think I'm lying, but I'm not. In African churches, they be like, lift your hands up in the air. Say, I receive a car. Say, I receive a business. Receive from where? Go and work if you want. First think, then go and work, and then start the business that you want, and God will help you out. Say, I receive a business from God. I receive a car from God. You have been saying this for years. Have you received it? Only your pastor has received it through you. They told you, bring money. They tell you bring money to church. And those are the money some of them they use to buy the cars. Because how come they do not have any job? Some of these pastors, they don't even have a job. They don't go to work, but they drive expensive cars. Yeah. One thing that I want to tell you is that if you rely on praying to change your life, one thing that I want to tell you is that if you want to wait for a prayer to change your life, you're going to wait forever. When I say change your life in this world, to live like a better life, drive a better car, live in a better house, or start a business, you rely that on prayer. You're gonna pray, you're gonna wait forever. Listen to me. Your mother was a prayerful person. Your great-great-great-grandmother was a prayerful person. Your mother is a prayerful person. Why did she die poor, or why is she poor? If prayer changes things, okay. If prayer changes things as you think or as you wish, why is your mother poor? Why did your grandmother die poor? Why is your father struggling? If you think that prayer really changes things, why is your over praying mother poor? Why? Because it doesn't work like that. Prayer is for going to heaven. But if you want to live in this world nicely, you have to think, because God already gave you the hands. Go and work, even if it means cleaning other people's toilets. You are starting from somewhere. Go do it. God gave you the hands for that, to go work. Go. This thing of sitting around and waiting for a prayer, it doesn't work. I guarantee you it will never work. Unless you are one of the chosen, few chosen, that will be located by grace. That is grace. Grace doesn't care whether you are working or praying. When it locates you, you'll be blessed. Somebody will be blessed. Somebody will say, you know what? I want to give you my house. For no reason. That's grace. It's very rare and it's very for the chosen. Prayer is good, but let prayer. I'm not saying prayer is bad. I'm saying let prayer help you as you are helping yourself. Don't wait on it 24/7. God already gave you things I strongly believe that only disabled people have the right to pray for things in life, to God, to do miracles. You can ask for God for things that are beyond you. Yes, there are some things that are beyond you, like healing. Like body, I believe God can heal people. I believe that. Like spiritual things that are beyond you. Those things you can definitely wait on God. They're beyond your control. But things like a better life, give me a break. And what hurts me the most is that it's 2026. Africans, they are They're busy praying for good things to come. In fact, they've been doing it for years. Nothing has changed. And in China, they are not waiting, they are not praying for things to happen. They are making things happen. What hurts me the most, or what pains me the most about the whole situation, is that Africans are busy praying for things to happen. But Chinese are making things happen. Europeans, white people, they make things happen. And at the end of the day, you will realize that Africans were flocking to white people's country to look for better life. Africans, instead of gathering together, thinking of idea how to make Africa great, they are busy praying for God to open doors for them so that they can go live in Europe. Sometimes I feel like somebody wished us. Somehow, I just feel like somebody wished us. Africans will gather. God, I need to go to Europe. God, make my visa work. Hey man, receive your visa. The pastor will be like, receive your visa. Receive your visa. I receive my visa. Instead of Africans to gather together and say, you know what? Let's start off projects. Let's think of projects. Let's think of something to do. How can we change our poverty life? How can we start projects? We have so much free lands. How can we start poverty or meat? How can we start poultry projects? How can we start meat projects where we can produce meat together? How can we gather like as a community? How can we contribute? And then we start a big project in our community and start meat projects, and we produce meat all over the country. Or we can start vegetables, farming for vegetables. We can provide vegetables to the supermarkets. People are buying vegetables every day. But no, we are gathering to say, I receive a visa to Europe. It's 2026 Africans. We should be gathering. If we are gathering to pray, we should be gathering to pray to God to say, give us ideas. Lord, we are gathered here. Give us ideas. We want to start projects. Make us think. Open doors, open our brains. Make us think. We want to projects. We want bigger projects. We want to supply chicken, meat all over Africa. We want to start producing things. We want to build our community. We want to renovate our roads. Most African roads are insane. Most African roads are insane. Nothing breaks my heart than African roads, even in the cities. Yeah. You know I'm telling the truth. You might not. The thing is that one thing that I've noticed about people in general, they don't want to hear the truth. But the truth doesn't care. The truth doesn't care. The truth doesn't care about your feelings. The truth doesn't care about your feelings at all. Unfortunately. Somebody say the truth does not have feelings. It is what it is. So I just want to say that I have discovered that Christianity is being misused, and it is keeping Africans poor and lazy thinkers. When Chinese are busy building technology, like the phone I'm filming using my phone right now, Samsung Galaxy, made in China. I don't know, made in China or there in Asia. Do you know how much I would want to film this video with an African phone? But no, the quality is, even if you want to support African phone, buying a phone, the quality is just not as the same as the Samsung quality or the iPhone quality. So we end up going with the quality. Instead of gathering, Africans, 2026, we should be gathering to think about how can we start our own phone like Samsung, like our own phone like iPhone. Instead of gathering to say, God, I receive a visa to Europe. God, I receive a car from you. Christianity is being used, and I'm not here to, and I don't want to talk about other religions because I know nothing about them, and I've seen people in other religions who are just as poor and just who are struggling and just as poor. But I don't want to address them because, well, that's really not my business in this case. I just want to address Christians because I've discovered and noticed that Christianity is keeping Africans poor. The teachings are being misused. God will do it for me. I'll just leave it. Go and work. Lazy thinkers, lazy people. Fail, but you are planning. Fail, but you have tried. Fail, but you have tried. I told you I've started a business that failed. But so what? At least I've learned. I didn't just fail. When my business ended, I gained experience. Next time when I'm starting another business, I'm gonna start from experience. I'm not starting from zero. I'm not starting like you. I'm starting from experience. And I know the do's and don'ts of the business. Maybe I'll share with you in the future if you want to start a business, something that I've learned. I strongly believe that nothing comes from say, God, I receive a car, God, I receive a job. Like go to receive a job. You receive a job from where? Go and look for a job. Look for jobs one way or another. Go look for it. God will help you. I'm not saying do not pray, but the thing of you praying and relaxing, it doesn't work, man. That is what is keeping Africans poor. You pray and then you relax, and then you wonder why Chinese are succeeding. China is you guys should be, you should see China. Go on YouTube and search for Chinese vlogs from travelers. They will show, you will see how organized it is. And I'm no longer offended when they say Africa is a third world country. Third world continent, because the way these Chinese streets be looking like, the malls, the airports, and then you look at Africa and be like, even the roads. Right. Anyway, today I just wanted to talk about how Christianity is keeping Africans poor. And I know some of you might not want to hear it, but that's the truth. Is Christianity bad? No. Is Christianity being misused? Yes. Is Christianity is being misused to keep Africans lazy thinkers. If you follow religious blindly, you are going to be a lazy thinker. You need to think on your own. You know, there's something that I've achieved, or there's something that I've done in life. When I look back, I'm like, if I didn't take action, I wouldn't have achieved that thing. It was action and praying guiding me throughout. So I'm here to tell you that I know Africans are obsessed with praying. That's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. But let us stop this thing of praying and then relying on God to do miracles. Especially when we have a body that works. We are not disabled. I strongly believe that as people who have a working body, a body that does not have disability, we should be the one to look after disabled people. I strongly believe that. I strongly believe that as able-bodied people, especially Africans, we should be looking after the disabled. Disabled people should not be begging. We should be looking after them. But no, what are we doing instead? We are sitting around and praying, God give me a visa to Europe. God give me a visa to Asia. God give me yeah. One thing, and the other thing that I've noticed about Africans really need to decolonize them. The mindset of Africans need to be seriously decolonized and start believing in themselves. Do you know, there's something that I've noticed about Africans. Do you know that some Africans you give an African 6 hectares of land to start projects or do their projects or farming and anything? Do you know that Africans would rather leave their 6 hectares of land and go to Europe to work for a white man's 1 hectare land as a cleaner or as a garden worker or farm worker? Make it make sense. Please make it make sense. Make it make sense. How come that Africans, don't tell me that Africans were not brainwashed to death. Don't tell me that something is just not something right here. Tell me how come an African with 6 hectares of land would rather leave his or her 6 hectares of land and go look for a white man to work for as a cleaner, as a farm worker. Would rather go work in a white man's 1 hectare of land, leaving his or her own 6 hectares of land. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You know, Africans would rather pray. Africans would rather pray to go to Europe for better life. You know, it's the truth. It's the truth. It's so sad, but it is what it is. And I'm going to talk about this. I just something that I think I should talk about. So this is one of the topics that I thought I should talk about. Something that I've noticed, and it was ringing in my head. You know, the thing about me is sometimes things they start ringing in my head and they won't leave. So I just thought of talking about it because it's something that I've noticed, that Christianity is keeping Africans poor. Is Christianity bad? No. It's being misused? Yes. This thing of gathering, praying for visas to Europe instead of gathering to start ideas, to think, to share ideas. How can we become successful? How can we start our own phone like Samsung? How can we start our own projects? How can we improve our lives? Instead, we are praying for a visa to Europe. I think, yeah. So my message is that continue praying, because I do pray, but you have to think on your own. You have to think for yourself as you pray, because if you're waiting on prayer full time, good luck. I'll see you next time on Real Talk with Lillian M.